Good morning. Good morning. How are ya? It is 8:01 on a Wednesday morning. Rise and shine. Good morning to ya. Good morning. This is Coffee Talk. We get together 7 days a week, chat about what's going on in the world of weather. Hopefully, getting your day started off on the right note. It is beautiful this morning, but I got to tell you, just looking at the overall weather pattern, increasing moisture across town, which means into the afternoon, more and more of those showers and thunder showers get going, more and more of that green showing up on the map. Of course, that means that we're going to have an active day to track. And of course, we're going to be doing just that on Wesh 2 News later on. But this is Coffee Talk. We hang out in the mornings. We relax. We take in the sights. This is Port Canaveral. Look how pretty that is. Mm, that's what we need this morning. So, wherever you are, whatever you're doing, good morning to you. It is beautiful across town. That shot and all shots. That said, though, we are tracking some stormy weather on our first warning live Doppler radar. Let's come up to Marion County, where over the last few minutes' time, you see those lightning strikes. We've been tracking rumbles of thunder. It's not a perfectly quiet morning, unfortunately. If you live up in horse country or other communities up here in Marion, it's not going to be perfect. Now, looking at the velocity channels, there are some pockets. You see the brighter greens. Remember, on wind velocity, the brighter colors are the gustier winds. So we do see some brighter colors. So there are some gustier winds. So let's come in just a little bit closer and kind of give you an idea of when this is moving into the area. Fellowship, Citra, it's definitely nearby you. Just give it a little bit of time. If you're in Dunellen, it's obviously storming. This will eventually work in toward Rutland, in toward Wildwood, and the like. Temperatures out the door already upper 70s and even lower 80s for us. And looking ahead at the day today, we do keep an opportunity for storms this morning, but there are more storms in the forecast later on today. Say 40% coverage of storms. Again, we're ticking that storm coverage up just a little bit. It's going to be blasted hot too. I actually think that that's going to be the bigger impact today for us is going to be the big heat. Yeah. Yep. Yep. Is it 9:20:05 Yukon? Why did I say something wrong? Is it 9? I don't think it's 9:20. Did I say it was 9:20? I don't know. I apologize if I did. I don't think so. Anyway, let's take a look at Futurecast. Let's get an idea of when those storms are moving into your community, okay? Because on a day like today, certainly we want to know that, right? Futurecast. Okay. All right. So here's our Futurecast model. And right off the bat, it's picking up rain where it's raining. That's a good sign, right? Accuracy. Love it when a model comes together. All right, let's continue to put that through time. Through 10:11, it fades it out, but look to Brevard County, my friends along the Space Coast, looks like a little bit of rain for you, bubbling up. 1, 2, 3 o'clock, a few showers, even a few thunder showers, but getting heavier 4, 5, 6 o'clock, and then kind of going into a more western area, Sumter Lake Marion, through about bedtime tonight. And that's going to be how our storm chances set up for today. When we talk about an overall coverage map today, okay, here's kind of the overall coverage map. All right. Best opportunity for storms is going to be across our interior spots. But there you go. All right. So that's kind of where we're at for today. All right. Now, let's go beyond today. Let's look at Central Florida's certified most accurate 7-day forecast because those rain chances actually start to tick up a little bit looking ahead to our Friday, Saturday, and especially Sunday, Monday. There's going to be a healthy dose of showers and thunder showers, which is always so fun on a weekend, right? So just plan accordingly. For now it doesn't look like washout, but it's going to be some storms around. All right? All right. So 40, 50, 60% coverage. Notice today's heat, 94 degrees. It's going to be blasted hot. Hashtag dislike. If we look at the temperature comparison, 94 today, 93 tomorrow. The average is 92. So that's kind of where we're at. And Manalfi always loves tracking this. I think it's so interesting. We're in July and we've already satisfied nearly half of our average 90-degree days in Orlando and Sanford. I just think that that's why when you look at the average days, I mean, I don't know what the typical median is, and that's something I probably should have to go and look. But I digress. It's one of those interesting things, right? So and obviously we've got nothing but 90s on the 7-day forecast. Coastal community friends, don't you worry, we've got you covered as well. Here's your 7-day forecast. Lower 90s, eventually the upper 80s. Do notice that the coastal storm chances really start climbing this weekend and really carry through late weekend into early next week. So make those plans accordingly, okay? All right, so that's where we are locally. Going to play some golf today. It's going to be a great day. Going to the theme parks today. It's going to be a great day. For example, Slinky Dog going out to Hollywood Studios. Yeah, just basically showers and a few thunder showers around. You can handle it. We can handle it as a collective. It's going to be just fine. Okay. All right. That's that. Any questions about our local stuff before we move on and talk tropics? I've started to see the hype machine building, and we need to make sure that we've got it covered. Tim says, "Can you fix the graphics for Thursday and Friday to have better weather at Disney, please?" It's summer. What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? All right. Questions, comments, concerns? Everything looking good? How we doing? Disney trip Saturday. How we looking? Deanna's asking. Deanna, it's there's gonna be some storms. We'll be fine. There's gonna be some storms. Thank you, Janice. What's with all the nice words the last couple days? Yukon says, I'm impressed Wesh has been having you on with different neat things like the helicopter over Daytona yesterday. But that Daytona helicopter ride originated from Coffee Talk. We were discussing something and it kind of came out. That's a good story. So what others, I am really grateful to have a management team that wants to tell weather stories well. And if you recall, yesterday during coffee talk, and while we're chatting about it, I'll pop up the 7-day forecast, just so that we can situationally be aware. But yesterday during coffee talk, if you recall, I was texting the boss because of something that came up here. So if we come up with something, I will pitch it and say, this I think is a great story. And I am grateful to work with a management team that wants to tell great stories. So yeah, Yukon, I'm grateful for it. I'm grateful for it. Matt, did you give permission to play golf today? Can you write me a note? I will do that for you. For you, I will. Yes, I got you. All right, hold on. Let's see. Okay, all right, I have to do that. Lisa says this is my first time watching. I like this, Lisa. Thank you. I like that. We just hang out. When there's like hurricanes and stuff, we have to be very buttoned up. But when there's not hurricanes threatening us, when there's not severe weather threatening us, more than the norm, right? We can kind of take it easy. Coffee Talk's a fun bunch. Lisa, welcome to the party. It's a party. Yeah. So yes. Let's see here. Let's see. I think it's very important to keep viewers updated through these weather stories. Well, and I think too, like I am a purist when it comes to information. I want to give empirical data. I want to give you information. I want to, and I can do that a little more on Coffee Talk, where I want to like call people out if they're trying to, you know, be hypers or what have you. But at the end of the day, um, it's great. And then by the way, so on our way we went to Astor at one point. Um we went to Astor to do another story yesterday, and then we flew along the St. Johns River, and it's just, you know, we flew back to the station along the St. Johns River, And it's so beautiful. We live in such a beautiful place. We live in such a beautiful place. Such a beautiful place. Yukon says, well, Wesh has been investing in the weather team and talent in general. Other stations down cutting. I can't speak to anyone else. Not my job to, right? But I will say that I am grateful to be where I am. That's all. Yeah. So there it is. David says the singing weather guy. No, that's Nick. That's Nick, formerly of the Weather Channel. He was the singing weather guy. Yukon says didn't see the St. John's piece. Turned off the news at that point. It's all right. That was talking about flooding, and that was the flooding that came from Coffee Talk. So now it's a matter of what else can we do, for stories, and that all comes out from Coffee Talk and all that, But what other questions? Your questions, your reactions to what I talk about, really do craft our coverage. And I've said this for a long while ago, for a long while. you know, I may give you forecast information and weather perspective, but you give me a lot on Coffee Talk as well, which is you share your curiosity, you share what you are wanting to know more about, and that helps me in a big way. So I thank you for that. Genuinely, I do. Okay, all right, enough of that. All right, let's come back here and let's talk tropics. Enough of that. All right. Tropical satellite imagery. Little wave coming off the coast of Africa. There's so much Saharan dust. Before I go, take a mental picture. It'll last longer. Look at all of that Saharan dust. Yowza. This is why it has been so quiet tropically. And do you think I'm complaining? No. When this eventually shuts off, I'm going to be a grumpy bear. But for now, it's not shut off, thank goodness. So, nothing going on in the tropics now, and to that point, nothing expected to develop over the next 7 days' time. So, this is the official tropical weather outlook from the National Hurricane Center. Okay, the National Hurricane Center puts this product out at 11 a.m. p.m. No, sorry, scratch that. At 2 a.m., 2 p.m., and at 8 a.m., 8 p.m. Okay, so nothing. That's where it's the yellows and the oranges and the reds. That's when we put there's a 20% chance of development, right? That sort of thing. Beyond this, though, because everybody likes to look long range, beyond this, the Weather Prediction Center, the National Weather Service essentially, puts out long range things. And this is their long range product. And they're essentially saying that July 16th through the 22nd, they do it week at a time. That there is a chance of something tropical to develop. The 16th through the 22nd. Okay? Now, we've been looking at the models for us, right? We've been tracking that. We also know that July 16th through the 22nd time frame and that location directly link to a piece of our long range forecast cycle that we have referred to as the slow Gulf low. We have highlighted the northern Gulf Coast and said this part of the pattern recycles, okay, July 16th through the 23rd. So this directly ties in to our long range hurricane forecast that we put out on February, was it 27th, 28th? So, that said, part of the long range forecast, not expecting something significant for now, but because it's part of the cycling pattern that we have forecast, our confidence is a little bit higher, not going to lie, that at least as we watch this, we'll need to watch it. Not for anything big, just because we know that the pattern should favor something to develop. So, what are the models saying for now? All right, let's dial it up. This is the American GFS for anybody that's new, especially during hurricane season. We always go deep in the models. We go and look at all the data. So this is mean sea level pressure normalized anomaly. So what this is looking for: high pressure, low pressure, warm, high pressure. Those oranges, that's sea high pressure. Not going to develop tropical stuff. Um, think about it like a shower drain. Lower pressure is like a shower drain. It's collecting the moisture. All right. So high pressure starts to fade on out. That's Friday, Monday of next week. Right here, look at how Tuesday the 15th, you've already got a little piece of energy there around the panhandle. Look at it go. Look at it go. Right? That's through about the 17th of July. So yesterday, if you recall, the GFS was not really showing something. Now it's back. It's a little earlier, but it's showing something. It's back. Let's go back one model run. That's the 6Z. That's the current run. Let's go back to the 0Z came in last night while Manolfi was working. There it is. Little piece of energy. Let's go back 2 model runs. There it is. Piece of energy. Yep. So the GFS is back showing something. In computer models, consistency breeds confidence. All right, let's go way back. Let's switch over to the European model. Let's see what it shows. All right, so 6Z on the European only goes out to hour 144, which top right corner shows that that's Tuesday, July 15th. It doesn't show it. So we have to go to the 0Z. The 0 and the 12 on the Euro go further out. But there you go. It's sloppier and weaker, but it's showing something in the area. So the European and the GFS are showing something not strong, not well organized, a big sloppy rainmaker. Okay? Which is fine. Let's look at the Canadian. If I could hit the button. Rain doesn't discriminate between the states and the states. There it goes. Look at that. Sloppy, slow mover. Yeah. All right. Canadians got it. So there you go. All right. Let's look at ensembles. I'm just curious to see if anybody's trying to actually like deepen it or if it's just going to stay a sloppy low. Yeah, just a sloppy low. Perfect. 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 So we've got all of the global models basically showing a sloppy low trying to develop a rainmaker, right? Okay, that's totally good. That's totally good. All right. It's a part of the long range cycling weather pattern. So I would also add, if I may, my friends, I would also add that this area, while it may not be anything significant this time around, that August 25th through September 3rd timeframe, when this part of the weather pattern recycles, that's going to be something to watch, right? So, and I always use the story about, was it Ian? I was in Ian coverage, and Ian was the last cycle of that for hurricane season. And somebody tweeted me and was like, "Remember when you tweeted this?" And it was the version before. It was like some Gulf low, upper low, and I remember reading it said something like, "We're gonna have to watch the next version," and it was hurricaning. So like here we are. We're going into the July version. What will the August version be? No Saharan dust, that sort of thing. So anyway, but it's recycling. The models are showing something to watch, nothing significant, no significant, blow up of convection, that sort of thing. But for now, yeah, this is definitely the next thing. Is it to be scared? No. I'm proud that some of the normal hypers have not hyped. I'm disappointed that new hypers are showing up. Now, you know, just shy of 1,000 of you watching live, and thousands through the day will watch this. So if there's one thing I could say to you, it's there's a lot of crap out there on social media. So just follow the people you like, but vet them, right? It's it's harder to tell the truth than to tell a hype, right? What do they say? The truth, a lie gets halfway around the world before the truth has an opportunity to put its pants on. That plays into weather a lot. Because why? Because especially with natural disasters like what we've seen in Texas, hype gets clicks. I don't do coffee talk for clicks. Okay. I did it when there were 10 of you here. I'll do it when there's 50,000 of you here when we're in hurricane coverage. I'm doing this because I'm looking at the data together with you. You're asking me questions. It's helping me do my job better. You want to know the truth? That's why we do Coffee Talk, because I'm looking at it anyway. And I can help you by giving you information. You can help me by asking questions. That helps me do my job better. So I'm not doing this trying to become the next social media star. Okay. So just know people's motives are really evident in how they cover tropics or anything for that matter. Okay? Even meteorologists, this year in particular, I've been disappointed with some actual meteorologists hyping. You know, by the way, if since I'm on my soapbox, I'm just going to say it. Um, so there's an area there to watch, right? The next name on the list is Dexter. You will never see or hear me say, this is soon to be Dexter. Oh, that is a pet peeve of mine. I digress. All right. Any questions about the tropics now that I'm stepping down off of my high horse? Yeah. All right. Normal hypers as opposed to abnormal hypers. They're all what they are. Let's see here. I don't hype, but I can be a little hyper at times. That's funny. Yeah. Let's see. Matt says new hypers need to build their scared audience before August and September. Terry says anxious people will start to get concerned. That's why, man, being the voice of reason is literally all I want. You know, that's all, man. Diane says apparently there's a large number of folks saying that Texas flooding was caused by cloud seeding and up in arms about it. You know, this was a well forecast event. They put out flash flood advisories, they put out flood advisories. I digress. You're our star, Sir Ochini Rowan. You're a putz. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Tara says no hype, and teaching us and guiding us is what we like. Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. Oh man. High horse or soapbox. Is that not interchangeable? I thought it was interchangeable. Maybe not. Maybe I'm wrong. Yukon says, honestly, I'm not sure who hypes. I still follow folks. Yeah, I mean, Yukon, you know when you see it, right? That's at the end of the day, you know it when you see it, right? All right. The Scourge of Society podcast says, you've successfully done that and been the voice of reason to us since moving to Florida 4 years ago. That is the greatest. That is the greatest compliment I can receive. So I thank you for that. Yeah. Robin says people do get caught up in the social media stardom syndrome, as I like to call it. I've only been around a short time, and it does not take long to see it. It's true. For those that want to be a social media star, um, you'll do whatever it takes to get there. For those of you that have been on Coffee Talk for a long while, we started and it was like 10 people, and we did it just the same. We figured out like what our formula was to do this. We've done this almost daily for almost 10 years. And at no point in time did I ever say to myself, I just want to be a social media star. And I think I'm grateful for the idea that my employer supports doing things like this. And I'm grateful that I'm 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 not doing this to try and be TikTok famous or whatever. I'm trying to I can only promise you that I'm genuinely trying to help you, and I'm genuinely trying to have you help me. Um, you know. But Actions speak louder than words. So hear my words, but see my actions. That's all. Catherine, thank you. Appreciate you. Yep. Consistency breeds confidence. Coffee talking to you folks. Thank you, Matt. I appreciate you. All right. But you could get quick money if you. Nah, that's not. No, no. David, you remember? I was. I know exactly what you're talking about. Oh man, Janice, I'm one of the long-term members on Coffee Time with Fan. Thank you, thank you. So you remember all of our karaoke Friday? Jeez Louise. Anyway, all right. Questions about our pattern. Questions about it. Questions are not oh, it skipped. Beverly says hypers are not doing any favors for people with mental health issues. People with anxiety, PTSD, etc. don't need anything to unnecessarily induce worry. Well, and I think that it's a responsibility. You know, when I got into weather, when I was first learning, Glenn Richards was one of my mentors, and he was very clear. You know, we're not politicians, we're not leaders of countries, but with a platform comes responsibility. This is a platform. I'm standing here in front talking about the weather. So use it for good. And the reason that I wanted to do weather was because he on his platform and those before him on that platform made me feel good and better in those moments that I was scared. So, you know, use the platform for good. Help the people. Give you the tools you need to make decisions. You know, Yukon, if ever offered, would you go national? You know, I there was one offer at one point, but it was not right. I don't know, man. I mean, I don't never say never, right? But I could tell you that I've turned that down. And that's not trying to be cocky. It's just what it is. Let's see here. I have to watch Coffee Talk every day. Funny, I have to watch Coffee Talk every day too. All right. So somebody had asked about the Madden-Julian oscillation. Great question, Matt. So in talking about the tropics, one thing that we watch from time to time is what's called the Madden-Julian oscillation, which is weather nerd for where is it favorable to tropical? Where is it favorable to hurricane? So this is the Madden-Julian oscillation. Where it's green is where you've got extra spin in the atmosphere, you've got extra lift. And right now, there's a lot of unfavorable around the Pacific and the Atlantic. That's why it's not going crazy around here. So when do we go back in phase? You know, at least significantly, not for a while, but that like 19th through the 22nd time frame, you know, there may be opportunities in the Gulf, but it's really not. It looks like we're going to stay in a Pacific favoring environment through July. You know, I'm telling you here right now, though, just looking at this, if models are trying to bubble up something small in the Northern Gulf when we're not in an MJO phase, it should stay weak and sloppy, right? It also shows me that when we go in phase, like seriously, when we go in phase, it's going to pop. You're hyping, Burris. No, I'm just telling you. Like the atmosphere, what we have developed has been sloppy, crummy parts of the lingering weather pattern. What we have developed has been nothing significant. Once we get the ingredients lining up, we're going to develop. So just like last year, I'm sorry, 2 years ago. 2 years ago was a relatively quiet start to the season. Then we had Ian Nicole. You know, we know what happened there. So just remember that a slow early start dictates nothing to the rest of the season. Okay? Merch, merch, merch. My boss is out of town this week. Maybe when she gets back, we can do it. Don't leave us. However, you could always continue coffee talk. Janice, I'm not going anywhere. This was a couple of years ago. It was it didn't work out. And I'll tell you the same thing that I told them, which was it really would take a lot. I mean, really, it would take a lot to pull me out. And I would think that it would probably take a lot more than most people would be. It wouldn't be it would take a lot. I'll just say just it'll take a lot. I don't want to go anywhere. I don't want to I want to stay where I am. So to you all, I'm never going to say never. Like if the Today Show comes and says Al's leaving and we want you to replace him, my first thing is going to be, why would you want me? I'm not anything. My second thing is it's going to take a lot to pull me out of Orlando. Never say what Sean Connery, never say never again. Things in there don't tend well to bullets, Ryan. I know it's not good. Oh man, way too early in the season. Marianne says September is when we need to pay. That's right. That's right. Only thing higher than the rain chances is the amount of excuses Eric makes for merch. That's funny and true, Oliver. Love you, Janice. Yukon. So the boss is off work this week. Can you explain logistically what the title of chief meteorologist means in television markets these days? Yeah. So Tony's the chief meteorologist. It's the leader of the team. It's different at every station. Okay, but I would say that Tony helps organize coverage. Tony leads the direction of our coverage. Um, eh, he's the guy. If there's a problem with one of us, the boss goes to Tony, right? That's the chief. The chief sets the tone and helps really develop everything. He's the guy. And I'm not just saying this because Tony's my boy, but like Tony's my boy. I have known Tony longer than I've had chest hair. I don't know, maybe that's not true, but you get the point, right? I mean, Tony is such a great person. And ask any one of his former interns or anybody that's ever worked with him. Tony's a great person. So, for what it's worth. Joel, was that the real I don't think so. My brother Frank says that was a horrible impression. Oh, I never said I was a good impressionist. Jamie's asking, was the coastal 7-day forecast created? It was. I'll share it. And guess whose idea the coastal 7-day forecast was? Insert chief meteorologist Tony Manolfi. Well, doesn't Dylan have first dibs at Al's job? Exactly, Yukon. Exactly. Although there's no promises of any television, there's no promises of anything, you know? Yeah, chief of the boat. Oh, man. Angie, can you give me peace of mind? I leave Saturday for Anna Maria. What's the weather going to be like for a week? I mean, look, the overall idea is there's going to be some storms around. For you, the overall pattern should favor everything moving inland, but yeah, we'll have to watch. No big deal. You're not going to get hit by a hurricane. That's all that matters. At the end of the day, that's all that matters. I could be the new Dylan. It would take a lot for. I'm just being real. It would take a lot to get me out of Orlando. This is my home. All right. Do you all have any other questions, comments, concerns? Anything? We're gonna need a bigger boat. Yeah. Oh boy. All right. Janice says laundry's calling. I guess I'm gonna have to go do work too. Listen, be the sunshine in someone else's day. Thank you for hanging out for Coffee Talk. I will see you all tomorrow morning at 8 o'clock for Coffee Talk. Sound good? All right. Take care. Bye.